So here we go, guys. We are here with the F-106 and we're gonna try to do something. So the service ceiling of this vehicle in real life is 17,000 meters. What does it mean, service ceiling? Well, in civil aviation at least, service ceiling normally means that the aircraft can reach that specific altitude with still a little bit to go. So the idea that we normally use is that it at least has like around 100 feet per minute of a climb rate at that altitude. That's normally what a service ceiling is considered for a civil aviation aircraft, okay? At least here in my country. Maybe it's a little bit different in your country. But so it's an altitude that it should be able to do without too much trouble. So 17,000 meters is the altitude for the F-106. So we are here in the test flight. And we're going to try to reach those altitudes, okay? So we're going to be as light as possible. So we're going to deploy our fuel tanks. We're going to... let me remember the button that I use for this. There is a button, hold up. No, I cannot drop my missiles. So it's not working. But we can use all of our ammo to be able to, just be a little bit lighter. So we're going to try to climb and try to get to those altitudes to see what we can actually do, okay? So you're using unlimited fuel, of course, to give us a chance. And we're gonna just start climbing and maintain kind of a good angle. As you saw yesterday, we saw that this thing climbs a little bit less, not by much, but a little bit less than the 104, right? It's a little bit heavier. It has more thrust, but overall a lot more drag as well, which means that it will have a little bit of a trouble climbing to those very, very high up altitudes, and it might take a long time for us to do this. So we're gonna try to maintain a good enough angle over here to maintain a good speed, and we're gonna decrease that angle the higher we go if I notice that we are losing too much speed, okay? So yeah, of course 6,000 in the game, in the stat card, it shows that the maximum altitude of this thing is a lot lower than 17,000, and if we prove that this is the case, it might be due to these aircraft not being ready. And we will actually know if the aircraft is not ready by basically doing that, okay? So 8,000. We're going to continue. We're going to decrease a little bit of the angle there. I wonder what is the range on these radars from these altitudes. I mean, it's supposed to be for a smaller target, 45 kilometers, which is amazing for the time, right? Remember, guys, this thing actually got into service in 1959. I mean, not this particular version, of course, with the gun and everything. But still, I mean, 1959, man. Imagine seeing this thing fly in 1959. It's crazy. Yeah, the 50s and 60s were a crazy time to be alive in the terms of speeds and records and everything. So, 11,000 meters. We only have 6,000 less to go. We're going to try to maintain a good enough, speed here and slowly climb. So, as you can see, we can get to these altitudes very easily. And above Mach 1, which is, yeah, pretty good, right? But I just have a feeling that this thing is kind of underpowered still. 12,000 meters. The engine is producing probably less than 80 kilonewtons of thrust right now. Which is, yeah. This thing in the lower altitudes, it produces 140, I think. 41, right? So, yeah. Being at these altitudes and producing 80, it's problematic. Come on, baby. We're still managing to maintain Mach 1. I think it's going to take a long time to do this. 13,000 meters. For now, we are kind of good. We are approaching that level of, altitude. Do we have a climb rate meter over here? We probably do, right? But cruise altitude. Not. Okay. Maybe it's this one, like 500 feet per second, maybe, probably, or something like that. I would assume the left one on the altitude one, 47,000 feet. Yeah, we are getting very high over here. 14,000 meters, guys. 3,000 to go. We are still having a pretty good climb rate, actually. So we might actually be able to do this. And of course we can do zoom climbs as well if we get enough speed. For now, let's just maintain this. I think it's actually... The flight model might be pretty ready, actually. Which is pretty good. I mean, guys, sometimes looking at this type of thing, it might make you feel that we are kind of like... Oh, we are not really... You know, it's not that amazing. But remember, this thing entered in service in 1959, boys. It's it's an old lady, right? And I think the most interesting thing that I found about this thing is that it uses the Sage system, right? So, come on, baby. It's suffering a little bit more. I can feel it, that it's suffering. You can see the angle of attack that we are right now. It's pretty high up. So, 15,000 pretty much. We're gonna have to climb 2 other 1,000 meters, which is quite a lot. The aircraft is not getting enough speed, I don't think. So we might not be able to do that. But 15,000, here we are. Let's see. The climb rate, 300,000. I mean, I don't know if it's per second or per minute, right? Americans like to use per minute, but this is a military aircraft, so no, not civilian, right? If you look at civilian, but because I mean, in a civilian Cessna, I mean, you get like 500, maybe if it's a good one, 1,000 feet per minute, right? Which is like what? 300 meters per minute. So it's like half a meter per second or something like that. So it's, yeah. Come on, baby. You can do it. I might level it out a little bit just to gain a little bit more speed. To maintain a little bit more of the speed, right? I think we might be able to do it, but it's gonna be close. I was expecting this thing to be a little bit faster, to be honest, but it makes sense if the actual, like... I mean, I'm not managing to get enough speed over here. And I don't want to, you know, lower my airspeed. So we're gonna have to wait. We're pretty high up. Of course, an F-15 can stomp this thing, climb rate. I mean, you can do like, I don't know, 20,000 meters or something. Not that hard with that thing, but still. And of course, remember, we wouldn't have this amount of fuel to be able to climb like this. So I'm gonna just try to remain here, see what we can do. I mean, I don't know, guys. We are still climbing, but it's way less than the 100 feet per minute that I told you guys about. I mean, 100 feet per minute is a lot as well, right? If you really calculate, it would be like 1.6 feet per second, which is like, yeah, this is a half a meter. I probably didn't do a well enough calculation before when I was talking about Cessnas. But, yeah, so now it's like doing 50 centimeters per, I mean, it would be 50 centimeters per second, right? So... Let me see. No, but we are doing less than that. See, I mean, if you really take a look into the climb there, see, like, let's calculate this. Hold up. Yeah, it's like, it's way more. It's still climbing more than the 100 feet per minute, right? It's actually accelerating the climb. I don't know what is happening there. It's because I'm gaining speed, maybe. No, I'm not. I don't know. So, yeah, with a normal climb, I don't think it will be able to do that. Maybe if I zoom climb a little bit, let's see. We can maintain a lower than Mach 1 speed over here. I don't think the aircraft will fly very much, but we can try. I mean, we are almost at 16,000, but then we have to climb another 1,000, so... I don't think this thing has enough power to do the service ceiling that it's saying on the internet. Maybe the service ceiling there, it's just not true, right? And we can do a zoom climb as well. Yeah, but the problem is that the engine is not producing enough power here. I think that's the major thing, right? For us to actually be able to do that. If that is wrong or right, I have no idea. But yeah, we're not producing enough power to maintain the aircraft flying properly at these altitudes. Look at the angle of attack that I'm currently at. I mean, like, it's pretty high up. And there is a little thing, right? I mean, I'm still with the missiles inside the missile bay as well, which is a problem. I couldn't manage to drop them because of the bug of the missile bay. So maybe that's it. I don't know. The gun as well, guys. Remember, the gun produces a little bit of a weight, right? That the initial F-106s and normal F-106s wouldn't have. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's the weight of the gun together with the missiles. So yeah, we're gonna have to call it a day, right? Look at this. I'm losing energy. I'm still losing. I'm not gaining enough altitude. I'm just losing speed, basically, and getting very little altitude. So I don't think we can do that. We have to increase the the angle of attack here again. But let's be honest, the engine is just not producing enough power for us to actually lift the aircraft to these altitudes. Let's try to do a zoom climb. I'm gonna do like a 12-kilometer kind of speed run over here after a dive. And then we're gonna try to climb to try to maintain the 17,000, but we need to be very smooth about it. Again, guys, I'm thinking the weight of the gun and the missiles are what is actually making this thing not be as good. Why do a zoom climb work in this manner? Because, of course, in the lower speeds, in the lower altitude, sorry, the engines can produce a little bit more thrust and surpass the amount of drag, while in the higher altitudes, they don't produce as much thrust, and because you have to maintain a higher angle of attack, it means that the drag kind of increases together, right? So, yeah, there's a curve point there that the thrust and the drag are the same, and then you don't get more speed, right? So, as you can see, we are accelerating. Let me try to get like to Mach 1.7 maybe, or a little bit faster. I mean, this thing is supposed to do like Mach 2.1, 2.3 maybe. So, yeah, but I don't know. I have a feeling that it has a little bit less power than the internet said it would, but the climb rate is pretty, it's pretty realistic. So, I don't know. So also, I mean, if we wait enough, we can get to the Mach 2, but it takes a little bit of time as well. You probably don't have enough fuel to do those types of speeds, maybe. So again, guys, I think the major thing here is that the drag that this thing produces is pretty high up, and the engine does produce a lot of thrust. Don't get me wrong. Compared to any other engine in the game with these BRs, produces way more. But look at that. The engine is overheating, right? So it's a little bit funny. Maybe they will mess with it. I don't know. But for now, yeah, it's not what the internet said. Of course, I have no idea if the internet is right or wrong. I would assume that yes and no, depending on situation, right? So it's complicated. But yeah, let's try to do kind of a zoom climb very smoothly over here. Yeah, the engine is going to start to die very soon, so we need to do it now. We continue to overpush these engines. This engine, I will burn it up, right? So we're gonna try to do kind of a zoom climb over here, maintaining a little bit of a... Please, engines, don't die. There we go, boys. So now we can get the 17,000. And we're gonna try to level it out. Oh my god. Let me just cool the engine down a little bit. And let's see if we can maintain the 17,000 with a zoom climb like this. The engine is already overheating again. So the objective is to maintain... Yeah, the engines are overheating. Let me... This is a problem, guys. The engine cannot overheat. We're gonna damage the engine. Let's see if we can maintain a good enough speed. My objective is 17,000, so we reached that. But I really want to maintain the speed, right? So it will mean that I'm still flying at that altitude. Engine's overheating. This became kind of a hard thing to actually properly do. The engine will just die. Let me cool it down a little bit. There we go. We're gonna try to level the aircraft and see if we can maintain a speed. So let's see when it actually stabilizes itself. So yeah, we are having some troubles over here, guys. I'm losing so much speed. I'm 300 IAS, so yeah, I'm barely managing 17,000. The engine is overheating. So, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the gun. Maybe it's because of the missiles. but it's not able to maintain the 17,000. So yeah, again, work in progress, or it's because of the extra weight. Um, but just for you to actually check it out, you can only do these altitudes and speeds and everything if you really, you know, zoom climb. That's pretty much it, right? So yeah, I'm probably gonna start stalling it out very soon. And there's a problem. When I return to the battlefield over here, I will be with a nose down, I think. Yeah, it happens all the time. So we lose the energy. But yeah. So the engine is overheating. If I try to cool the engine down a little bit, I'm gonna lose. I mean, it's just better maybe that I just lose the speed to see if when I put the engine down, can I maintain this altitude? I mean, look at the angle of attack that I'm maintaining here. This is not very healthy, I don't think. I think I'm probably going to stall it out, proving that the aircraft cannot maintain 17,000, right? Service ceiling, like I said before, it means that it still has a little bit of a margin, but here you cannot even maintain, and you are losing, I mean, losing altitude. I'm pretty much stalling it out, almost stalling it out. Trying to maintain the altitude over here, trying to maintain the engine power, but yeah. So I'm gonna just wait for the actual stall over here, but we are pretty much stalling it out. I mean, 20 degrees, nose up, and I'm still losing altitude. It means that, yeah, it's way too much. Yeah, basically stall it out, right? No, I cannot maintain the altitude anymore. I'm losing so much energy now because the drag is increasing. So yeah, you can get to the 17,000, but you cannot maintain it. How realistic that is, I don't know. You tell me in the comments. But basically, this is it, guys. This is this test that I really wanted to do. Yeah, the aircraft just stalled. It's stalling, basically. It's like a pre-stall kind of maneuver over here. Yeah, the aircraft cannot do anything. I'm just, yeah, kind of a boat here. So, yeah, very cool aircraft, I gotta say. But at the same time, maybe not as people might think that it is, right? So yeah, maybe they will change as well. I'm gonna keep updating you guys with this, okay? So basically this is it. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Thank all the members and patrons. Let's see if we can break the wings of this thing, diving down. And yeah, this will be the last thing. It's not gaining enough energy to... It will probably just crash on the ground. Let's see. I don't think he can get to the Mach 2 and stuff that he can do in real life, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we are already too low for that. But yeah, guys, basically this is it. And bye. See ya.